Well now, that wasn't much of a takeover. Scanners 3, The Takeover. Yeah, right. Most people say that the second movie is so bad that it's good, and that this one is shit. However, I believe the second one is actually good, and this one is so bad that it's good. Welcome to day 4 of my Scare Show 3, titled Brash Bodies. Let us begin. The plot! A new patch has been developed for scanners so they can have less painful headaches. Poor babies. But this new drug has a side effect. It blocks your good side and lets all your negativity flow through, which releases a serious state of you being a fucking bitch. I'm looking at you, main girl. Now, after a bunch of scanners are turned, the main leader, Elena's brother, returns to stop the madness before a takeover can begin. Because now, apparently, scanners can control you through your TV. Bullshit. Will their power ever cease to amaze me, or will it just get more and more goofy? This movie is plagued with bad acting. It's like they were trying to speak as if English was their native tongue. The characters are pretty forgettable. Hell, one of them disappears from the movie for like 20 minutes. And then she returns and I was all like, oh yeah. Her. Now this movie is watchable and I wasn't bored because it was entertaining. However, they must have really cut corners when it came to shooting this film back to back with part 2. It was like they spent all their money on that movie and had a limited time to make parts 3. And you know what's funny? They actually spent more on this movie than parts 1 and 2. Also, the Scanners trilogy is known for having people make funny faces at each other while they perform their telepathic powers. But this movie takes the cake for the stupidest faces being made. At least parts 1 and 2 tried to take the scenes seriously. And what the heck was up with that very end shot? It's like they were trying to make room for a 4th movie, following the storyline. I did like the whole subplot about the scanners at a mental hospital being treated cruelly, but when they, I mean more like she, got her revenge, it happens so fast that it really doesn't feel like there was much of a threat. And the whole ordeal was an inconvenience they could have handled to themselves. There's also the fact that our main hero lives with monks for 2 years, and I really like this aspect, because he was able to learn new abilities and not just pull them out of his ass at the last second, like so many of the other characters in this movie do. A good chunk of this movie is filmed in Thailand. Either that, or it was just a set made up to look like Thailand, but either way, I enjoyed the change of scenery as opposed to just constant cities being filmed. This movie was directed by the same guy who directed part 2. And you can sort of tell, but I think the acting is what really makes this movie suffer. The gore, there is quite a bit of gore here, maybe even more than part 1 or 2 offered. We get exploding heads, as well as a finger being blown up, lots of blood, and some gross melting sequences. I didn't really care for the music in this movie. It was sort of the same as part 2. However, the incorporations of foreign flutes was a nice touch. I think this movie gets a lot of bad press because it is so cheesy, but so what? I enjoyed it. It had some interesting aspects as well as kick-ass effects. It is a pretty solid trilogy if you ask me. Overall, I give Scanners 3, The Takeover, a 3.5 out of 5. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Movie Reviews. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below to leave comments and subscribe.